Somewhere out there right now, a bottle of perfume that once sold for around $80 is being fought over for close to $1,000. Not because it got better. Not because the brand quietly made it rarer on purpose to drive up demand. It's simply gone. Discontinued. Pulled from shelves for reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with how good it actually was. And once something like that disappears completely, with no warning and no way to get more of it, the people who genuinely loved it don't just move on to the next bottle. They start hunting. And they're willing to pay far more than anyone would have guessed, just to get one more chance at something they can never buy new again. Today, I'm showing you 5 real perfumes that used to sit on ordinary store shelves, priced like any other bottle you'd walk past without a second thought, and are now worth serious money on the resale market. I'll tell you exactly why each one actually disappeared, what it's genuinely worth right now, and one honest warning you need to hear before you go looking for any of these yourself. Let's start with the one that's grown the least, and work our way up to the one that will genuinely surprise you by the end. We're starting with Womanity, released by Mugler and discontinued a few years after its original launch. This one was genuinely unusual the moment it came out, and that's exactly why it's on this list. A fig and marine scent built around fresh, slightly salty top notes that sit over something deeper, warmer, and far more unexpected underneath. It completely divided people when it first launched. Some found it strange, even a little difficult to wear. Others found it unlike anything else on the market at the time, years ahead of its era in a way most people only fully appreciated once it was already gone from shelves. Right now, a used bottle typically sells for somewhere between $100 and $170, depending on how full it is and how it's been stored. A sealed brand new bottle can reach $250 to $350 or more, and rare eco-refill versions or limited flanker editions can climb even higher than that, purely based on how much a specific collector wants that exact one. What's genuinely interesting about Womanity's story is that it wasn't really a failure in the traditional sense. It simply didn't fit neatly into what mainstream audiences expected from a big-name release at the time it launched. Now that it's permanently gone, that same unusual ahead-of-its-time quality is precisely what collectors are actively chasing today, willing to pay several times its original price for the exact same bottle. It's also a good reminder that being different isn't the same as being bad. Next is Decadence by Marc Jacobs, instantly recognizable the moment you see it, because of its bottle, shaped like a small, elegant handbag sitting on a shelf. This one was officially confirmed discontinued worldwide by Coty, the company that actually produces Marc Jacobs fragrances, back in 2020. Once that announcement quietly went out, whatever stock remained on store shelves became the very last of it that will ever exist. No more has been made since, and none ever will be again. The scent itself is rich and a little unexpected for a mainstream release. Plum, iris, and a warm, almost powdery base note that people consistently describe as feeling genuinely luxurious without tipping into overly sweet territory. Fans of the fragrance often describe it as having an old money kind of elegance, confident, a little mysterious, and noticeably different from anything else in that same price range at the time. Since the discontinuation, resale prices have been steadily climbing on marketplaces like eBay, month after month, as remaining stock slowly dries up. If you're specifically hunting for this one, always check current live sold listings before buying anything, since prices genuinely shift depending on demand at any given moment. And older listings you might find through a quick search can be seriously misleading about what you'll actually pay today. Now, we get into a perfume that people actively describe as a ghost, something they still think about years after it quietly disappeared from every shelf they used to find it on. Midnight Poison by Dior was a dark, sophisticated blend built around patchouli and rose, part of Dior's larger Poison fragrance family, but distinctly its own thing entirely, deeper, more mysterious, built specifically for evening wear rather than something you'd casually reach for during the day. Since it was discontinued, prices have climbed steadily and consistently, without any sign of slowing down. A 50-milliliter bottle, even a tester version without its original box, typically sells for $350 to $425 today. A genuinely rare, factory-sealed 100-milliliter bottle can reach anywhere from $410 up to $700 or more, depending on exactly how well it's been preserved. Here's an important warning if you go looking for this one yourself, because it genuinely matters. Because demand for it is so high, cheap imitation oils calling themselves midnight poison has started popping up in small online shops, sometimes priced as low as just a few dollars for what claims to be the same fragrance. Those are not the real thing, and buying one won't get you anywhere close to the actual experience. Now we go back nearly 100 years to something that barely even resembles a modern perfume anymore. Djedi was created by Jacques Guerlain in 1926 during a wave of intense fascination with ancient Egypt that swept across Europe after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb made headlines around the world. The scent itself reflects that inspiration directly and unapologetically. Dry, smoky, and animalic, built around vetiver and civet. Nothing at all like the bright, polished, crowd-pleasing perfumes most people are used to smelling today. It's been completely out of production for decades now, and surviving bottles regularly sell for upward of €3,000 on the resale market, sometimes more, depending on exactly how old and how well preserved a particular bottle happens to be. Here's the honest, slightly strange part of this one story. Because these bottles are this old, nobody can fully guarantee what condition the liquid inside is actually in after nearly a full century sitting in glass. Collectors buy them anyway, fully aware of that uncertainty. At this level, you're not really buying a perfume to casually wear day to day anymore. You're buying a genuine physical piece of scent history, something that captures an entire vanished era of perfumery that simply doesn't exist in any form, at any price, anywhere else in the world today. And finally, the one that will probably surprise you the most out of everything on this list. Pour Homme 2 by Gucci was a calm, elegant men's fragrance built around black tea, cinnamon, and violet leaf. Quiet, confident, the kind of scent that doesn't announce itself loudly the second you walk into a room, but leaves a distinct, memorable impression on anyone standing close enough to actually notice it properly. Since it was discontinued, the resale market for this specific fragrance has genuinely exploded. A brand new sealed 100 milliliter bottle now regularly sells for somewhere between $560 and $957, depending on the seller and current demand. Even a partial, already opened 50 milliliter bottle can still fetch $350 to $500 or more on its own. Small 1 to 5 milliliter sample decants, just enough liquid to try it once and see what all the fuss is about, sell for $15 to $25 by themselves, purely because people want a taste of the demand before ever committing to a full bottle at that price. Think about that for a second, because it's genuinely worth sitting with. A single full bottle of this now costs more than most people's monthly rent for a fragrance that originally sold like any other completely ordinary, mid-range designer cologne, sitting on a shelf next to dozens of others nobody thought twice about. Nothing about the actual liquid inside changed even slightly. What changed is that it's gone, permanently, and it is never under any circumstances coming back. What makes this one stand out from everything else on this list is exactly that contrast. Djedi was always going to be a collector's item, built nearly a century ago from ingredients and techniques that don't really exist in mainstream perfumery anymore. Pour Homme 2 was never meant to be exclusive at all. It was a normal, well-made men's fragrance, sold at a normal price, to normal customers, in normal stores. That's precisely what makes its current price tag so striking. It proves that value in this market isn't only about rarity from the start. Sometimes it's simply about something ordinary quietly disappearing before anyone realized they should have held on to it. None of these 5 perfumes were meant to be rare or expensive. They just disappeared for simple reasons like low sales or high costs. People only realized how special they were after they were gone forever. Sometimes things become rare completely by accident. If you want to buy one now, be careful. Check real prices, watch out for fake bottles, and remember that you are buying a piece of history. Also, check your own shelf. A normal perfume you own today might become a rare, valuable item tomorrow. Think twice before you throw anything away.